Good evening and welcome to the No Exit podcast. It's not that I'm stuck here with you, you're stuck here with me. With me this evening, I have Nessa, I got Richard, got Tony the truck driver, Sal, James more or less alive, and behind the curtain is...
He's almost alive like Gene Simmons.
And behind the curtain is Tom, who just... And we got Paul in the electronically from his residence.
Yeah, he's in Washington. It's nighttime there now.
You should know that Paul is a photographer, goes on a lot of photo excursions, and throughout the show, he'll be showing his photos in his background.
Does he do sexy photographs?
Okay,
like
so
naked girls?
Sure. Now I need the mission statement, and then I'm going to ask Paul a question once we get rolling.
Are we rolling joints?
This is what we're here for. First is in French, because if you don't speak French, then we'll do it in English, okay? So get ready.
That's Canada.
Shh. Alors c'est l'enfer. Je n'aurais jamais cru. Tu te souviens de tout ce qu'on nous a raconté sur les chambres de torture, le feu et le soufre, le même boulon, des histoires de bonnes femmes. Pas besoin de tissonnier, chauffes en rouge. L'enfer, c'est les autres. So this is hell. I never have believed it. You remember all that we were told about the torture chambers, the fire and brimstone, the burning marrow, old wives' tales. There's no need for red hot pokers. Hell is other people.
And how?
I'm proof.
No, you're like you're Beelzebub. You're the Lord of the Flies.
Yay!
You're not Asmodeus.
Can I run purgatory?
That no such thing. Paul, I got a question for you.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay, so as a photographer, what do you think of the digital camera as a boon? Do you think it's a boon for photographers, digital photography, instead of using film?
Originally, when it went, now digital quality is so fantastic that you can't compare it to film. Film has its pros, like it has warmer effects, it has more depth, I think, to it, but
it has grain. Grain.
Well,
yeah, it has grain.
Nice. But that wasn't my question. Was much more straightforward and much more quotidian, much more pedestrian. How much of your time would you spend developing film?
None, because I'd always have it done.
Oh, so it cost you money.
Oh,
and
it costs a lot of money.
Well, but then because now
black and white.
But now with the digital, you can take many more pictures, and don't have to spend that time processing for it, waiting for them to come back.
Yeah, it's even better.
So do you take more pictures now that you can?
I do take more pictures. On an average day, when I go out and do a shoot, I'll shoot anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 pictures.
Because there was another person who was, I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody else who was on podcast that said
Andy Warhol.
They were so trusting in their own skills that they didn't take more pictures because they thought they could catch the moment when it happened.
Dan Arbus?
Well, that's true. I mean, depending on what I'm shooting, I do shoot a lot of pictures, but it's not because I don't compose properly and do the correct exposures. But I do a lot of
naked girls
calculating before I take. Well, I've done a lot of that too.
Good. Naked girls falling down the stairs.
We need more of that.
But I was just kind of polling because I really think if you think that you can catch it instead of taking 10 pictures, you could think you could take the one and it's the right one. I really don't think that is accurate. I think you're going to miss a lot more of the ones.
You are. You will. You're not going to catch it in one shot. Even when I used to shoot film, if you were shooting an action shot, and of course film back then, you could only shoot it would probably only take 2 or 3 shots per second. Now I can take 30 frames a second. Basically like video almost.
Yeah.
So
that's the frame rate in NTSC. Yeah.
Yeah, so now if you're doing action shots, that's mostly what it's used. But if I'm doing landscapes or specific shots, I take 1 or 2, 3. But if I'm shooting wildlife, birds flying, insects flying, all that kind of stuff, yeah, I shoot a lot of frames to hope to catch the right one.
Indeed, that's what I was getting at. So can we put the phone number up there, Tom?
Yeah, give us a call. We like hate
Okay,
mail.
we'd happy to have you call us, too. The phone number is 716-202-8430. That is 202-8430. So we're more than happy to have you call in. The more the merrier.
That's such a catchy, memorable number,
And
too. How could you
no,
not,
it's not a very
remember
interesting
that?
number. It's not an interesting number.
I know. It's not, it should be like 69, 69, 69, 69, so people remember it. That's
How old are you, 12?
That's the best fucking number.
666-9999.
Oh, that's nice. 666 and 6969.
716-202-8430. So now we're just going to take a rough framework of things. So Tony is first
trade?
up.
We're gonna have some rough
no.
trade at the Flying J.
Here we go.
The Flying J truck
That
stop.
Tony is first up,
Glory
and I'm going to
hole.
end up giving you the rock because
Rock Hudson.
no.
He's dust right now.
So the topic we have is friends who keep texting you. Tell me about this.
Essentially, I think my point there was just like how ever since these things became basically the norm,
What things?
The phone.
Hold it up for the audience. Cause
Oh,
they're
yeah,
really,
we got
they're
to
really,
see what you're
they're
talking
really
about.
stupid. And
the
you gotta,
cell phones,
You gotta like.
Right.
Hey, here's one.
No.
See?
whichever way the
No,
screen
the
other
goes.
option.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, I mean these things. I mean, personally, I think in many ways they are ankle monitors cleverly disguised as communication devices, and it's just like
They
ever
are.
since the
I know they are.
yeah, ever since their inception, it's like now anybody, anywhere can feel free to get hold of you anytime they want, no matter what's going on. And it's like even, I mean, it's to the point where there's like really nothing sacred, no sanctity, and it's like every moment can just be like assaulted by either an intelligent quote or inane rambling.
Welcome to the future.
So I understand your point, Tony, and thank you for sharing because I have a separate view because I've had the volume off on my phone for the past 8 years, and I don't care. Richard can attest to that. Richard, who won't respond to any text but complains that I don't respond to texts.
Maybe you aren't carrying on a dialogue.
A dialogue.
You're engaging in a monologue.
But
Don't do that.
So I don't see it as the ankle monitor because you're free to turn it off
Ball and
or
chain.
ignore it. You know
They still
that.
got a GPS signal.
Ball and
No
chain.
It's just that
communication.
if as soon as you put it back on, it's blowing up, and yeah, people flipping out because
That
why
doesn't
didn't you
happen
call
to
me?
me.
Why didn't you answer me?
Mine
Well, that
doesn't
means you
blow
have
up.
friends.
I mean,
because you just stopped using it for so
Good to
long,
have
people
friends.
learn
Well, that's not very popular.
although my stalker did text me.
You have a stalker?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, legit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that I told her
Wow,
when she was
they must
drunk to
have
send me a
hung
nudie, and she did.
Who said that?
What?
Somebody just gave you a compliment.
Well, you're wrong. Whoever you are, you definitely. But yeah, that was the weird thing because
I'm the weird thing.
it was a patient that I saw, and when I came out the next morning, her number was on my truck, and then she found me during.
Did she key it onto your truck and say, call me? Like,
No.
And how would this make you feel?
Well, it's after a sort. It's like
Made him feel
it's
mighty real.
good to be wanted.
yeah, it is. Did you feel mighty real like Sylvester?
Validation.
No. But then again, she even volunteered because I knew this before because she was some kind of influencer, but got demonetized. Everybody kicked her off there.
Oh, so this is recent.
No, it was last century. No.
I mean, if there's a monetized content maker, that means
but
it can't be
thing
from
is,
the 80s.
She told me that she doesn't wear deodorant and she doesn't shave any of her body hair at all.
Ooh.
And she's not European. So our next topic is to Vanessa. Cracker Barrel removed their Pride page.
Oh,
Photo
yeah.
number 1. Put the photo up.
Where's the
Stop
there
there.
it is. Crackhead Barrel. People were bitching and complaining because they changed their logo and they got rid of all the cool stuff hanging up in the restaurant. They weren't complaining about their DEI and LGBTQ pages, but they decided to make it an issue and go into that and just add that on for good measure because everything has to be about bashing the alphabet people these days. So why not add that to the mix?
Well, I think that the bashing is only from the federal government because of Dumb Donnie. And the best
True.
thing that could happen would be somebody in his inner circle to come out as gay, and then he'd have to eat shit. Literally. But
Didn't he assign some sort of gay guy to his cabinet? Who was that? There was one guy that he did. I don't know if he's still there, though.
I can't come
But
up
yeah,
with
you're right. A lot of the shit is coming from Trump, and that's why they did this.
Well,
they caved to Trump.
They're all white males, and if you recall at the Republican National Convention, Grindr broke down because of there's so much in Milwaukee where the convention was that all these nominally straight guys are killing the app because so many people are using it.
Yes. The Republican dudes all
and that
like
happened.
a Judas Priest song, Grinder, looking for meat. Grinder wants you to eat. Rob Halford, Leather Daddy #1, the Metal God. Do you like Rob Halford?
Well, no, I don't. I'm not a Judas Priest
Are you
fan.
screaming for
But
vengeance?
Rank and File from 1981, Amanda Ruth.
Barry Manilow, though he would raid his wardrobe.
Barry
that's-
Manilow.
that's-
On the second album cover in the back, he's wearing a Screw magazine T-shirt, and that's a real hardcore porno mag.
That's the Breakfast Club. That's 1985. But she can't cook, but she's got something to eat. Amanda Ruth. That's okay. So Richard,
Yeah.
how does a camera help you see better?
Is there a photo that goes with that?
There is photo number
there
2.
Okay, so photo
person on
number
the
2.
photos.
Here we go.
Keep going.
Oh, you don't like that one?
Keep
not-
going.
Let's see if it's in there. No, we're giving away the show.
Right.
I
Well,
don't
you
think
should.
it's not there.
You
is
should
it?
do it just in the preview.
You're right. I should.
Yeah.
Well, because I haven't seen any of them, and so I'm ready to roll. What is this? What is the photo for which you're looking
Well,
at?
I'll
Vanessa can't
find the photo. So go on to the next
Okay.
topic.
So we're back to Tony. So 'cause I have special information on this. How the disabled are treated and those veterans who are gaming the system. Are you a veteran?
No, but
Psychic Wars.
I have a peripheral friend back in Olean who is, but he never really saw any action. And he's claiming PTSD. He's claiming bad knees, bad back, bad arms, everything. But anybody who talks to him knows that it's basically his gaming things, you know?
But if he's not, since that's what I do, that's my job, doing those physicals. We have stuff that we have just the forms say how much to bend every joint, and if he doesn't have any decrease, those won't go anywhere. He can claim that, but that doesn't mean he's going to get paid for it. Yeah. And as far as PTSD, that has to be diagnosed by a psychologist or psychiatrist. And you don't have to be a combat vet to have PTSD.
Oh, I know.
17% of emergency physicians, which I was for 17 years, 1 out of 6 fit the criteria for PTSD. Yeah. I don't have it because I don't have the flashbacks and I don't have the nightmares. But it's hellish. And that can be standing on the street corner and seeing somebody get hit by a car. Or being out with a friend and he gets his head cut off by a guy wire. Or, that's not funny. That happened to a guy when I was in high school. He was riding on an ATV and he didn't see the guy wire and it cut his head off.
That's not great. If you had a camera and you captured that?
That is not funny. That is actually, that says something about your psyche that you laughed at that. That
sure.
stuff that will cause, that can cause you PTSD. So I don't know what, if he was, where he was in the military, if somebody got lit on fire or there was a plane crash, that could also do it. I mean, I don't know the guy, and that's something that has to be diagnosed. It's not something you can claim yourself.
The other thing
story
too
about the hydrogen-filled airboat.
Hydrogen-filled airboat? The
What?
Hindenburg?
The Hindenburg, yes.
Yeah, the Hindenburg,
okay.
yeah.
The reporter to that was, what's that?
Led Zeppelin.
The Zeppelin.
It's the Dread Zeppelin, yeah.
But the reporter who was reporting on it, he was getting really upset, and he felt for the people that were being burned to death. He got fired.
Oh, what the hell?
Well,
Horrible.
that was Patton in World War II slapping the guy on the head, calling him a coward.
Call him yellow.
That battle fatigue, cowardice, PTSD is a real thing because there was that song 19 by Paul Hardcastle from 1983.
19.
Yeah, and because that was made from a lot of it was taken from a 1978 ABC documentary about those, and I watched that. You can watch it on YouTube. And that 8 to 10 years after coming home, almost 500,000 men are still fighting the Vietnam War, and that's why the two of the guys I talked to, they didn't say what their crime was until the end, because if you knew from the beginning that they were rapists, you would discount everything that they said. But that's the thing that really that Do you know why it was easier to shoot Koreans or Vietnamese?
Because they didn't look like you.
They don't look like us. They're not Caucasian. They're not black.
Right.
There's very few Asians comparatively in the U.S. military. Right. So it's easier to shoot somebody that doesn't look like you. But that's a European perspective, because Africa and South America are full of people that look like each other, and they're the only ones who can tell the difference, killing each other, cutting each other up.
They're the only ones who can tell the difference?
No, if you put a Hutu and a Tutsi next to each other, I don't know the difference, but they do. They're the only ones who can tell who's whom. Mm-hmm. I can't. It's like there was a woman who was a radiology tech when I was in Hawaii. I thought her accent was Boston, but it was Rhode Island. Well, if you're from Rhode Island, you can tell a difference, but they all sounded the same to me. Did you find the photo yet?
Yeah, Tom,
Okay.
I put it in the folder. So Tom will put it into the mix. Okay, he's going to refresh it. So it's the RW1 folder, photo. So anyway, here's the backstory.
I wonder what RW stands for.
Richard Wicca. Oh, you just
Wow.
You're on the ball. You're very sharp, like a bowling ball.
Okay, so I got up early in the morning.
As
Why
you
would you
I'm
approach-
talking
that?
sunrise.
Oh wow.
And there's a moment, like when the sun is starting to rise, it'll cause this glow. It's like the equivalent of, can you put that up?
Where's the glow? Do we have it? Slow
Yeah.
shine? There it is.
Okay,
There it is.
so
Okay.
what the sky will glow, but then when the sun breaks the horizon, you get this shaft of sunlight.
Shaft.
And when I walked upstairs to do my morning exercises, I walked up at the exact moment when the sun came in, right?
Cool.
And as you could see from the photo, Vanessa, look how it caught the chair and a shaft of light shot across the room.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
So immediately I noticed it. Why? Because I had my camera on me. So I took the photo and I thought, you realize that if I didn't have my camera on me,
You'll be able to share that.
then by the time I ran back down to get it, and then I wouldn't have caught that. So in other words, always carry your camera with you. Why? Because when you see something beautiful, you'll notice it. I got to take a picture of this. You see what I mean?
Every profession has that, because what they tell us is, if, as a student, always have gloves in your pocket, because that means when there's a procedure, you're going to get in it.
What are you, O.J. Simpson?
No, you have gloves in your pocket so you don't get blood on yourself. Not that.
Did it fit in the pocket?
That O.J. Simpson fits that.
But that's he got the blood on him. But you always
He's
have
got the rusty trombone. He's got the blood of
Stop
Christ.
saying that.
He's got the blood
What,
for you.
Do you owe somebody money if you say it like 12 times? Do you get
If he-
paid?
No, I just
If he
really like
puked, did
rusty
you quit?
trombones.
So I was reminded, remember when we had the eclipse in April of last year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
No.
I thought it was a magical thing.
Uh-huh.
And I was out there, I was taking pictures and everything. And then I was all enthusiastic about it.
Mm-hmm.
I captured the essence of the eclipse. And I sent it to my friend.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to convey my enthusiasm. And you know what my friend said?
It's been done.
He said, I opened my front door. I looked around. I didn't think it was any big deal. I walked back in the house. So you know what I always say to my friend now? I say, for example, if the eclipse was coming up again, I would say, the eclipse is coming up again. Can you send me a photo of it? Because now he's going to be looking for the beautiful thing because he's got a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the camera does help you see better.
Fair enough. Because I cursed this one just like I did in 86, because both days we were overcast. Mm-hmm. But so in 86, and when they said the next one will be whatever, 2007, and then one after that in 2024, in 86, you're like, what the hell? We got flying cars then? And so that's why I always sit that it darkened, you know?
So you know our Zoom guest, Paul Dracham?
Yeah.
When I taught him photograph, how to use a camera back in the 80s, in the days of film, all right?
Okay.
I said, okay, Paul, that's your second last lesson. Now you know about ISO, you know about shutter speed, you know about f-stop. I said, for the last lesson, we go out and take a photo. And he walked out of the front of my house, right? And now he's seeing everything differently because he's going to photograph it. He's looking for the beautiful thing. And he looks at this thing called a Queen Anne's lace. And he points his camera and he says, look, it has a bug on it. He would have not noticed that. You see? The camera helps you see better.
Absolutely. Well, when you have a reason, something to look for, and
I can agree with that metaphor.
that if you have a reason, like I can't tell you what it is, but you'll know it when you see it. So you're going to be looking at everything.
Right. So now look how that set Paul on a trajectory. Okay, now here he is. He's in his 60s, right? He travels for hours to the Adirondacks because one day a year, eagles show up there. So he's there. He's got his tripod. He's got his big lens.
Don
just
Henley.
waiting for the moment.
It's interesting you mentioned eagles because you heard about that. They were on the camera, and people were really heartbroken when one of the eggs disappeared out of the nest. So 2 were born and they grew and the whole thing, and they fledged and they're gone. But when one of the eggs disappeared, because nobody knows, they didn't catch that where it went.
It was served for breakfast at the Sunset Grill.
Waffle House omelet.
I don't know if an eagle
It's all
As
American.
predators.
no, if it would make a good egg to eat, because I was wondering
How do you know
about
till you try it?
double yolked eggs that they can rarely birth 2 chicks. They will not birth a 2-headed chick.
Oh, like the flag of Austria with the two-headed eagle on the Austrian flag.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that eagle.
But that won't. I was wondering about that because you get a small chicken to roast. It's like 3 pounds. That the egg laying chickens, when they're done, they're lucky if they're 1.5 pounds.
Right.
There's nothing to eat on them. That they're just played out. And but here's your tip of the day.
Reservoir
Chicken
tip?
chicken legs. Because they have all the collagen in them. Just put them in a crock pot overnight. You'll end up with chicken jello. You can cut a piece off that better than any bouillon. Just a piece off that, put it in some hot water, and you got chicken soup.
Oh.
But and also the South Americans like the chicken feet.
Yes. So does Salmonico.
Okay, and so
Because they're scaly.
so back to this topic, and we'll throw it in the can then. I didn't see anybody gaming the system. You know what I mean? Because people that game the system are the workman's comp. They game the system, but the veterans, they're legit. And also, I erred on their side because they deserved it.
Well, additionally to the veteran deal, I think something was also misconstrued because I was also talking about people who generally game the system as, basically just gaming across the board. I have to mention that this guy in Olean was in the National Guard, yes. So yes. But I'm talking about people in general who game the system.
Well, that's human nature. That
Like Michael Jackson.
for the same
It's a
reason
good song. My Human Nature by
that
Michael Jackson.
why some people have the borderline personality disorder, for example,
mom.
and other people are schizoid, and some have a personality that games the system. Okay, so the next one, oh goodness, it's
Well, here's
Vanessa.
a good one. We're really going to get into this. You're going to like this one, Sal.
Yeah,
I know what it is.
The 2 theological views, the St. Augustine view and the St. Thomas Aquinas view.
Yeah, the 2 views of Christianity, which
So,
is a true Christian.
There's a photo for that.
It's
isn't there?
actually
Put
both
up the photos.
Catholic. Actually, they're both Catholic.
No, you got it. You can't. There you go.
This one? Is that the one?
No. Keep going. You'll see it. Now, isn't that it?
No, these were
Those
the
are
other
right.
ones about, like we were talking about the kink, but we didn't get there yet.
Oh, okay.
That
All
one.
right. All right. So you know what it is then. Okay.
I know what's what.
So it's too small for me to
So
read,
anyway,
but
I think, do you follow St. Augustine's school that no matter what you do in your life, God's going to decide whether you get into heaven? And St. Thomas says everything you do affects God's decision whether or not you get into heaven.
Let me clarify.
Yeah.
I have to clarify in that you have one belief where faith is what saves you versus works, and the other view is that the works that you do, such as in the Catholic Church where they have sins like missing Mass or not doing certain things or doing certain things, are going to get you damnation. that you have to go to confession and then you have to make reparation for those errors, whereas what is considered true Christianity takes the view that you have to have faith over works, and faith is what's going to save you,
Yes.
not the works that you do. So that's what we're discussing now.
But,
that's actually a good description, Vanessa, and I'm glad you brought it up because it is faith that saves you. It's not works. But if you have faith, you will have works.
But works
because
without faith is dead.
Yes. But the basis isn't the works. The basis
Or
is
by
the
grace
faith.
are you saved through faith is the act of God, not of works, lest any man should boast.
Correct.
So we're coming up more on the side of St. Augustine here.
Well, and that's interesting because the majority of people believe in the Thomas Aquinas view. So when I had my heart worked on 10 years ago and I was in the hospital, and anytime somebody would say to me, I will pray for you, and I would turn it into a theological argument, I would say,
Okay.
course you
don't
would.
pray for a favorable outcome. Pray that I have the strength to handle whatever outcome there is. See the difference?
Yeah, you should pray for
Yeah.
God's will be done, not for a good outcome.
That's the Augustinian view, is pray for a strength to accept whatever happens. And whereas Aquinas would say, oh no, you can get God to
Which
change
one's which
to
again?
change the program, you know.
Well, God, I haven't been healed by God. I've never been healed by God. But I have a friend who has, and I know for a fact she was healed because she had a blood disorder, because she had an immunodeficiency disorder, and she went to church and they prayed over her, and she next time she saw the doctor said everything's fine. So it's like, how did that happen? It's like there was no.
I think there's several pieces of that story that are missing.
Well,
Like
yeah, there is.
railroad
because-
cars, you
Yeah,
know.
the body
because-
can heal
because-
itself.
That's true. But God gave us our bodies, so that's all fair.
Well,
So-
actually,
Well,
no,
if
the
you-
body doesn't heal itself as well as if you get pneumonia, you're going to die. If you don't
Yes.
get antibiotics, if you get cancer, depending on what you get, you're going to die. Even if you
Well,
do
that ain't
get.
true. I had pneumonia and I never got antibiotics
How do you know you had pneumonia then?
because I went to the hospital.
And they didn't give you antibiotics. You should have sued them.
Well, I couldn't sue them because I was not in the right country to do that.
He was in Canada.
So I was out of country. I had no medical, and I wasn't going to pay to have medical stuff done. They just did an X-ray. They said, "Yeah, you got pneumonia."
Then you are the poster child for miracles. That reminds me of a joke.
Well,
Well, actually-
I took my own remedy that I made myself. So I
Whiskey?
took colloidal silver and a nebulizer, and I'd done that for several days, and I got rid of it.
Evan Williams.
Good on ya. Okay, so I got a joke.
And I
bet it's
actually
a
didn't
funny
finish
one.
what I was
Rutgers
saying.
make-
Oh, okay. Say what you're going to say, then I'm going to tell my joke.
Can I laugh in advance?
One of the miracles, I'm going to tell you about two miracles that I experienced. One miracle was that I was outside smoking, and the weather forecast was we were going to get 8 inches of snow. And I'm outside smoking, and I look up at the sky. There's some light, so you can see all the snow coming down. It was heavy, and I prayed to God that there only be 4 inches of snow. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't expect him to necessarily do it, but he listened. And when I woke up the next day, we had 4 inches of snow. And the other one was I saw a black aura around the head of a friend of mine, and I prayed for him, and there was a white aura around that.
Because
What were you smoking?
Twice we were in public. It happened in Times Square and something in Hawaii. People that came up to my wife and said, "I love your aura." So I can't see it, but
What color is your aura? Is it
hers was it was party colored. So here's my joke.
Which
So-
party?
Is it a funny joke?
Yes, it is. Mary, St. Peter, and Jesus were saying, let's go on vacation. Where do you want to go? You want to go to Ireland? Let's go to Knock. Nah, we've been there. Let's go, let's go to Mexico. Nah. But they said, hey, let's go to Lourdes. We've never been there.
Lourdes.
That is funny.
Lourdes is where?
Lourdes is in France,
France.
and it's a
That's where
place where
the
people go
miraculous
for
apparition of the
healing.
Virgin
Yeah,
Mary.
okay.
They go to be healed there, and we've never been there.
Okay. Okay.
get it?
Mike,
because
the viewers
statistically,
don't
they
leave
should
it
have more
alone.
miracles than they actually have.
Oh my God. Smokey
At
Robinson
Lourdes.
told them.
That statistically they should have more unexplained cures than they get. But I will
And
never.
There's an interesting culture around Our Lady of Lourdes. You know the culture?
No.
The culture is there's people who go every year, and they get to know each other. So like there's these clubs. I've been here 5 times. I've been here 10 times. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I've been here 8 times, right? And they always gather together, and they resent whenever a first timer shows up and gets healed. The nerve of God doing that, healing that first timer. I've been here 10 times. I haven't been healed.
But Jesus told his town folk that when Elijah was going to heal a woman, there were people that needed healing from Israel, but he didn't go to any of them. He went to a foreign woman and healed her son. So basically, they got upset with him over that, but they were going to kill him. But he told them that basically God sees the heart. It's not what you think. He knows what your intent is. He knows.
Oh, it's like when Anubis weighs your heart against a feather before you go wherever you're going.
Okay, so I'm going to take host prerogative, and I'm going to say one last thing, and we're going to move on. I will believe the healing occurs when somebody puts their arm that is cut off in the water and it grows back. Otherwise, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Something that can't be psychosomatic.
Right. Something, because their rules are so strict. Me being diabetic, since I've taken insulin, I wouldn't qualify if my diabetes was healed. You have to be untreated for it to, and be healed for it to count as a miracle.
Well, Sal and I were discussing the story of the aspirin and the prayer. So a person
Yes.
takes aspirin
Yep.
and then prays to God, and then the person says, "Look at that, God healed me." And then the same person doesn't take an aspirin.
No, she takes an aspirin without prayer.
Well, yeah, there's 3. The second one is where they don't take an aspirin, but the headache stays, and they go, "God has a reason for keeping my headache in my head because it's a greater purpose." And then there's and then what's the third one?
The one in the middle that I was trying to tell you was she takes an aspirin, but she doesn't pray. I didn't even pray, and God healed me.
Right. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
You take the aspirin, but you don't pray, and you say, "I didn't even ask God to heal me, and God healed me."
And, you can make, that's like the self-fulfilling prophecy, and you can make everything fit. Because it's like they say about Mussolini. At least he made the trains run on time. No, they already ran on time before Mussolini got in power.
Right.
But so now we're going on to the next topic.
I like what they did to Mussolini
So no.
after he died.
Is there any truth to this photo, Richard? Photo 3. Pull it up.
That's the one with the Muslim.
Okay. Let me get there.
This is a very thing. So, okay.
Here we go.
Any truth to this?
No.
What's the relationship between the Muslim culture and the Israeli culture? Because
Well,
that determines the answer.
Muslims believe Jesus was a prophet.
And they say that Jews and Christians are of the book, which is the reason why they shouldn't be killing them. But fuck all those Hamas pieces of shit. The more stringent people say that the whole world will become Muslim. And so then the whole world will be subject to Sharia, which means wiping your ass with your left hand. And that's why they cut off your right hand, because you got to eat now with the hand that you
Right.
wipe your ass with.
Yeah, it's a humiliation thing, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not very Christian.
No, it's not. It's Muslim.
But they say that Muhammad was, you can't even show a picture of this guy, or they're going to go nuts and
Right.
kill you.
I say Muhammad's the last prophet, and there will be no prophets after him, but Jesus was a prophet before Muhammad.
And they call him Isa.
And Jesus said, "Whoever says they're me after me is not telling the truth."
Yeah,
so
that's
don't
what the
believe me.
Jews think, that Christians are idolaters, and the Christians think that Muslims are idolaters.
And Christians and Catholics are idolaters because they have all them statues and
That's what
stuff.
the question becomes: to what extent are you going to fight against the evil? Because Jesus said, "Turn the other cheek, love your enemies."
Now, who said anything about fighting?
Well, there's a lot
Public
of
Enemy, Fight the Power. Or the Isley Brothers, Fight the Power.
And I mean,
Spike
yeah,
Lee, Fight the Power.
that it's the thing that if somebody wants to start a fight with you, I mean, Because
Well, they do.
I am an inveterate supporter of Israel. Till I'm not Jewish. I'm Jewish. I was
You're
confirmed-
Jew-like,
I
sort
was-
of
no,
Jew-esque, right?
Be quiet, please, for
No.
a moment. That I was a confirmed Catholic, so I'm not Jewish, but I can look the part, and
Me too.
I will always be in
Boss.
favor of the Jews because they didn't start anything, but they end everything.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I guess they do.
That they don't start it, but they end it. And if your business model was trying to kill all the Jews and you fail every single time in 67, 73, and 2000, and 2015, and 2023, or 2024, if you fail every time, maybe you should do something different. But what did
That's what Ben Franklin said. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're getting the same results, you need to do different things to get different results.
And what did, if
Very good.
the Arabs, what is it? What did she say about love their children more than? Golda Meir said something about that. It was very telling.
Look it up on the interwebs.
Nah. Well,
No.
Well, isn't it possible that the current Israeli government is doing a non-proportional response?
well,
I mean, if a bully beats up your kid, right,
Mm-hmm.
and your kid comes home with a bloody nose, and you say, we're going to rectify that, and you kill everybody in the bully's family, that's called a non-proportional response. Is that wrong?
that's where you got to think of it because
Yeah, I
if
think of
Israel
history,
wanted to
too.
really destroy Gaza, they could do it in a week. So for them, with the power that they have and their military might, and they haven't, and the population is actually going up, that 1% that was killed, and they don't even talk about the genocides of the Hutus, of the Armenians, of the Rohingya,
And you're an
of the
Armenian
Uyghurs.
teacher.
I mean, those are all real genocides.
Yes.
But along those same lines, you think the bombing of Hiroshima was a proportional response?
Yes, because they estimated that there would be 2 million American casualties, an untold number of Japanese casualties.
Even though Japan told Russia, tell the United States that we're ready to surrender.
The winners write the history books. I mean, that's why I would have to research that. Because even if the emperor said, we're ready to surrender, look at all those there was at least 5 of them. What was the name? Hiru, H-R-O-O-O. He was one of those guys that was in the Philippine jungle until 1974, still fighting the war. And so that's the thing, that these guys will follow the Bushido code and be like the samurais, and they will cut your heads off. That was and that's
I got an interesting question. Do you agree that extremum is within everybody, but you got to follow the right extremum to be on the right path? Because I think everybody has to be dedicated to something, but you end up with bad dedication and good dedication.
no. I just think that my own belief is that the in general unindoctrinated human is slightly selfish, and when you realize that, that's what guides what everybody does. They're slightly selfish, and that what changes their outlook. But people that, if you're taught, if you're taught from age 3 that you should kill Jews, well, that's what you're going to think is all right. Were we taught, anybody here, were you taught in school you should kill anybody for their religion?
I remember being taught in school to be a citizen of the world, of an international citizen. Don't be just America, be for everybody.
So that would mean, Jason, you're opposed to the Israelis having excursions to Auschwitz, and at the end of the excursion, they tell everybody who attended, now you see what the Nazis did to us? That's exactly what the Palestinians are planning to do to you. You would be against that, right?
I'd
Because you're
have to-
teaching them to hate the Palestinians.
But they're not teaching them to kill them.
What happened? There was always an issue just by tickling on someone's sneakers. Good heavens.
Are they Nikes?
Air Jordans?
Like
Don't
these-
step on my Jordans.
Okay, so now, unfortunately, the guy with the doll is the next one up.
You don't step on my Jordans.
Participating in the Labor Day protest as a marshal and meeting a counter-protester.
Yes. So I had been attending the protest against Trump ever since July 5th, and we always have one solid counter protester down there. We call him our resident heckler, and up until this past Monday, I only knew him as Dave. Well, last Monday, after the protest pretty much wrapped up and ended, we were going over to talk to a guy who was taking pictures and video on his phone, just trying to figure out, what his angle was. And as I was, talking to the counter protester, I realized I'd known him from somewhere. I said, "You look like this cat that I've known all my life, but I hadn't seen him in like 15 years. See, we wouldn't have to know Dave Neely, would you?" He looks at me and says, "Tony, I recognized you a long time ago." He says, "I recognized you when you first came here to the protest. That's my uncle. He's kind of a black sheep in the family. He got wed to my aunt way back in the day by what they used to call a shotgun wedding, and all that. And family just never really cared for him, and I guess they never really made him feel that welcome. So things got into a screaming match between him and the head of our tribe or coalition, whatever you want to call us. And I'm trying to get them separated because, I'm like, hey, remember, we're supposed to keep this thing peaceful. How about we kind of, do that? We go back to our side of the street, we chill, the thing's done. The evening's still nice. Protest is over. Done. Fine. Finally happened. Finally got them. But this way, I'm trying to basically keep the peace right after I figured out who he was. And it really bummed me out. Just sank me. I went down to BK for some iced coffee and artwork. 10 minutes later, in walks my uncle. And long story short, I actually got to talk to him for about 2 hours, which is longer than I ever got to talk to him in my life. It actually did bring me a modicum of peace that I needed.
Good.
Did he change your mind?
Oh, as to whose side or whatever? No, but I mean, it was kind of nice to see past the sides just for a while,
There's the converse question as, did you change his mind?
Oh, no, I don't think either of us changed either minds,
But you had respect for each other.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
it was just good to get past all the crap, the bullshit slinging.
Well, they do want to divide and conquer. That's the oligarchs' plan, and it's working great.
well, all politics is local. That's what Tip O'Neill said. And everything national starts locally.
Just the tip. Just the tip. Reservoir tip. For her pleasure.
What is this reservoir tip thing?
It's a condom thing.
Oh, good God.
Wouldn't understand. They sell them at the Bilo gas station
I don't
in
want
Riverside.
And so,
You know where the reservoir tip is.
but that's
I do know
where
what it is. But
as I call him, Nick Langworthless, he's never had a real job in his life. And that's what irks
Neither
me.
has Trump.
Like Bobby Kennedy?
He's had real jobs and he sucked at them. He's horrible with money. Trump doesn't know how to do anything. All he does, there's an old joke. You want to become a millionaire, start as a billionaire and buy an airline.
Right.
And that's what all he's done. I worked at the casino in Buffalo, and they make money hand over fist. They might as well be printing it. They might as well be printing it. There's so much money. And how does Dumb Donnie put 3 casinos out of business? Because he looted them. He looted those companies, and he sucks at business. His book, Art of the Deal, is a fiction.
okay.
It's a fiction.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, all the shit he does, if you're a white male, non-Jewish like me, is made for me. But if you're a woman, if you're black, if you're Jewish, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, if you're gay, you don't exist in his world. You're a second-class citizen.
Listen to this. My friend, her job is working for a place that caters. They have different catering
Oh, yeah.
events. Okay. They catered a wedding. And my friend said, I never worked a wedding before. What's it like? They said, oh, it's really cool because they charge a lot more money for a wedding. And they said, but it's more demanding. Okay. So the wedding comes and she's serving people, and she notices that the bride and the groom are sort of like they're not excited about being married and everything. She says to one of the other servers, what's going on? They don't even seem like they're really happy to be here. And her friend said, oh, you don't know the backstory? She said, what is it? They already got married like a year ago when he was in prison. What was he in prison for? He was one of the January 6th rioters So
You should still
Okay.
be there.
he got pardoned, and now they had the official wedding. Okay.
Okay.
You know, like how they'll have a grand opening, but the
Yeah.
business really
Yeah.
opened. Okay. So they had the official wedding. When it came time to do the toasts, there were people in the crowd saying, bullshit. You know?
Oh, wow, man.
They were denouncing, he's not a good person, things like that. And obviously some of the relatives were pissed that this guy got pardoned. So then my friends said, okay, all the food has been served and everything, and all there is left, is the dancing and everything. So the boss said, all right, well, you're a food server. You can go. So she got home, and then she got a phone call from her friend who stayed and said, good thing you left when you did. A fight broke out on the dance floor. Somebody lost 2 teeth. Somebody broke an ankle, and the cops had to come in to break it up.
Wow.
That sounds like an Irish wedding. I mean, that sounds like a good night. That's a good night in South Buffalo.
It doesn't sound like a good night to me.
That's a good night in South Buffalo.
Oh, by the way, Punchy, the little guy is not a doll. He's my son. Oh, listen, I'm home. Pleased to meet you. Hit lollipop.
You have a speech impediment? Your son does?
Nope. That's how he talks. That's just his
Yeah.
normal voice.
Put him on the camera. We can't see him too good. See,
That looks like-
pull him
Huh?
over more towards Sal. Yeah,
That
people could have view.
Yeah, that looks like something out of a horror movie.
It probably is.
You're no prize either, pal.
Okay.
What am I doing to you?
Jason, it sort of raises a question.
Punching massacre.
If you have a friend who's a ventriloquist, and every time you,
You know
visit
Edgar
them,
Bergen?
every time you visit them, the dummy does all the talking.
Haberman the rat.
Should you talk to the dummy?
That's a good question because
one's the
John
dummy?
Favreau was saying doing the Mandalorian with the doll of the Baby Yoda of Grogu. He actually was talking to the doll, giving it direction. So I mean, that's the thing. And if the ventriloquist can do that, that's really skill. Sure, why not? But then again,
Do you ever do a ventriloquist trick with like when you're having sex and you like have your junk like
Well, I was.
talk like it's another
What's your
entity?
son's name?
Sam.
Sam. I was talking to Sam because I
on.
thought I'd be respectful to Tony.
oh, okay. So
Exactly my point.
Richard, is there any truth to this comment that you heard today by a human evolution professor? Men evolved with big brains to think up sweet talk to persuade women to mate with them. Women evolved with even bigger brains to see through the sweet talk and choose a worthy mate.
Now, what do you think about that?
I think
it's completely off topic.
I disagree.
Off
And,
topic. It's a topic now. It just shifted.
yeah, and
yeah.
I think it's not that complex. I mean, when people are
It's so thought-provoking, isn't it? That, in the history of evolution, men evolved with a big brain to get a mate. So they would learn the art of bullshitting. And then women evolved with an even bigger brain because they had to see through the bullshit because they want the best mate. James, you usually have a lot to say about that.
He's asleep.
James, what do you think? Are
He's
you
in
alive?
Fucking cosmic space.
We might have a
pouch.
weekend at Bernie's going on here.
Yeah. 'Cause, well, James takes a breath and gets up to speed. Their brains aren't
Where
bigger.
are
Though.
you?
Women's brains aren't bigger. And what do
Well,
they look
doctor,
at?
you gonna check for a pulse?
Why? Why should I? I'm the most trained person here. That means I call 911.
Good God.
Are you
and,
trained in the sexual arts?
Are you experienced?
Jimi
Would
Hendrix.
you like to be experienced?
And the gluey flute?
But the thing is, when you're younger,
Rusty trombone?
that's why. Stop saying that.
I'm the rusty trombone doing this!
That when
Sack
you're
butt.
younger, what do women look at? They look at the guys who are physically the best, even if they're dolts, because they're going to have the healthiest sperm. But then as you get older, there's the second peak because now guys that are older can get younger women because we have power by money or by position. And
Which position?
Not the one
seeing
you're
through the
thinking
sweet
of.
talk and choose a worthy
69
mate.
too.
I know what you're
That
thinking
a lot of
of.
it, only what, like 7% is verbal communication. So there's not a lot of bullshit to see through, because talk is talk, but the biscuit speaks for the cook. You can only get this far. If
You swallow the biscuit?
if you say that you're great in bed, well, you get one chance. And if you don't light her world up, well, you're full of shit, and then you're out, and you're out of consideration.
It's a girl for girl is best.
I was talking with my friend a couple weeks ago, and he said after his divorce, he was in his 30s. So he's in his 30s, and he goes on the dating scene again. And he said the same thing would always happen. He would be talking to women at a bar who seemed to be drawn to him.
Yeah.
And then they would say, "You own your own home?" And he said, and he thought they wanted to go home with him. And he said, "Oh, no, I have an apartment a couple streets down." When he said apartment, suddenly they started drifting away. Like, you don't,
Right.
You will not give me for the financial security that I want.
Right. And I
Should have said he owned the apartment.
I got the same reaction whenever I
makes it
told
a
him I was a
condo.
truck driver.
well, I guess the man didn't have a bigger brain to BS, so he was honest.
Yeah. In other words, what that professor who made that comment was saying is that women have to see the big picture because they're thinking far into the future when they meet you. Mm-hmm. Men are thinking, "Am I going home with you tonight?"
Well, that's why because that's the maternal instinct, because the female bears the child and stays at home with the child, and the guy spreading his seed all over. That is shown in the animal kingdom time and again, that the males are profligate and they have nothing to do apart from being a sperm donor. Then they're gone, and they don't. And they're in single bachelor herds, whether they're elephants, they're zebras, they're antelope.
They're incels.
They're all the
Maggots.
animals that are all over Africa. That's what they do. That they
for America, too.
they impregnate the woman and then they're gone. They're impregnating as many as they can. Possum.
Well, they do that here, too,
moles,
so.
James, have you gotten your energy back?
Incoming sperm drone at 3 o'clock from the southeastern skies.
Usually you have a lot to say on this subject.
So it's not time for you to pipe
What
up.
I will contribute here is, are you familiar with the phenomenon of Civil War brides?
No.
Heard of.
The Union government passed bills saying that whether you served for the Union or the Confederacy, any soldier would get a pension which would cover the soldier, his wife, and their children. 13-year-old girls in droves married old guys just because they were Civil War soldiers, because they knew that they would have a monthly
Security.
check for themselves and any children that they had with the soldier. You know when the last Civil War check was paid out?
It was 1965 or 68, something like that.
2020.
Oh, I thought that was the Spanish-American War.
Wow.
But well, there's. I hate to broach the topic because Vanessa will say something stupid. So
I never say anything stupid. It's always brilliant.
and yeah, if you have to tell people it's brilliant, it
It's
ain't.
brilliant. You know that.
That if there's grass on the field, play ball, and that's the thing. 13 years old, if you have a period, you can get pregnant. You can be a
Rusty.
wife, and that's what happened with the grandsons of John Tyler that are still alive.
Is he from Aerosmith, the singer?
And their girl and Poe's wife.
No, John Tyler, the
John
president of
Tyler,
the United
he's from
States, the
Aerosmith.
10th president of the United States.
That's-
Tippecanoe and
he
Tyler
was
too.
He was an Aerosmith as well.
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
Steve Tyler.
And so that's what happens because they never knew, of course, their grandfather. But he had John Tyler had a second wife. He had 15 children, but 7 with the first wife and 8 with the second, or the other way around, 8 and 7. So he was very old when the last one was born. The youngest one also had children very old, and those were the 2 kids. That there was Harrison Tyler, and I forgot what the older brother. The older brother is 4 years older, and he's not doing well. But Harrison is still alive, doing well. So, I mean, it can happen because guys. Leopold Stokowski had a kid with Gloria Vanderbilt when he was 95 years old. Tony Randall was 82. I mean, and they weren't special ed kids.
Whoa.
So their sperm weren't broken.
Didn't Tony
Okay.
Randall use a turkey baster?
Paul, as someone who recently had a a marital experience. Do you have any thoughts on the man-woman attraction thing?
Experience.
Well, yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, attraction thing. I mean, that's, I don't know. No, I don't.
No,
I mean,
comment.
do you think you'll ever get remarried?
Hell no, I'll never get married again. No.
Good answer.
The only way that would happen is if someone that was close to my age and was somewhat attractive, then maybe. If they were well off too, because I would. I want a sugar mama. That's what I want.
Resources.
But if you want a sugar mama, you got to provide the other half of that. If you want Prince Charming, you got to be Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella. You can't be the bitchy stepsister or the one with the feet that are too big or whatever.
Well, James often looks through. Is that Twitter that you look through where people say, "I want this." Qualities in a husband. He's got to be rich. He's got to look like this, but they have nothing to get in return.
And that's why that's uncomfortable, because I mean, when I'm peaking right now in my life. I've missed so much of my life. So much of my life was lost. But now I realize I'm not fat. I'm not debilitated. I'm a doctor. I'm still funny. More or less, funny and funny looking.
That's what you think.
I host a not award-winning podcast.
It's award-winning.
So
Not award-winning.
there was this internet.
What kind of doctor are you?
I did emergency medicine for 17 years. That was my residency training, but I burned out in 2019.
There was this.
So you're not a doctor anymore.
No, I'm still a doctor.
He's the
But you're not-
proctologist
you're not
of the
current.
show.
Go ahead, Richard.
So James used to follow this internet guru, and his whole mission in life was to talk to women and say, "Look, if you want this much in a husband, you got to have this much to offer.
12 inches?
And if you only have this much,
3
lower
inches.
your standards."
Oh, it has to do
What
with
was that guy's
length?
name?
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
But he also told men, stop complaining about the women and just understand that there's a bar that you have to clear.
You have to go to
Because
the bar and
complaining
get-
about it is not
drunk?
going to help.
Oh.
But the men said, we've burned ourselves out trying to meet this standard just to find out there's no women worth the work that we've put in.
I believe that.
Everyone is necessarily the hero of their own story. Everyone thinks they're the different person.
I just heard about a couple that reached their 80th wedding anniversary.
80th.
He was 103 and she was 97, and they met at a diner, and they said that their faith is what they had in common.
The Waffle House. They meet at the Waffle House.
Yeah, but I'd like to know the real story.
God is in the Waffle
I'm
House.
with you, Paul.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
sometimes
then.
tend to believe that.
Well, if you want to know about my
They were monogamous for 80 years. Why do I not believe that?
because you haven't had that in your own life, because you won't be faithful yourself,
Good answer.
I've always been faithful.
then
So how
why
are
are
you
you
different?
then why are you questioning them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe
that's
he was.
typical what happens.
Maybe Paul was unfaithful in his heart.
That's
Like
true.
Jimmy Carter.
Right.
Right.
There you go.
I sometimes
Yep.
tend to believe that just shy of being forced to undergo the Ludovico's technique, I may likely never get married in this lifetime.
What did you say? What technique?
Ludovico technique. Ever watch Clockwork Orange?
No, I haven't seen that.
Ah.
Have you seen Human Centipede? It's really good. It's like a great movie you'd really like.
So anybody who doesn't know, they're going to say, Rusty Trombone and Human Centipede. You're going to look like that you're a 12-year-old weird kid. Oh, goodness.
I am who I am.
We have 1 minute left, and I'm trying to think of something good to say because you
No,
busted
you
my
keep
flow
trying.
last week.
I can smell smoke from over here.
Your
bust-
menstrual flow?
No, yours.
Uh-oh, synapses firing.
Rusty
Oh, my
trombone?
God. Oh,
Well, I had a good point last week, and Vanessa broke it. She broke my flow, and so that's why I was thinking about having your microphone cut for the last 30 seconds. But I'm not going. I'm not going to do that. That's too draconian. But so, does anybody have anything left in the last 20 seconds?
Yeah, blow your load.
James can't even take a breath in that time. So I'm happy for everybody who turned out. Paul, thanks for coming on Zoom.
Thank you, everybody.
And,
I was happy being here.
don't mistake a golf ball for a jawbreaker.
Adios. Todos.
Special thanks to